Your employees finally showed up at the office today after 8 weeks of work from home. The House of Representatives is back in Washington to vote on a bill tomorrow to end the longest government shutdown in history. Now, if you were worried about how your House representative was doing, don't worry. They're cool. They got paid the whole time, and they also got to avoid dealing with that file that you left on their desk, the Epstein files. Anyway, the Republican-controlled House is expected to approve the funding deals passed by Senate Republicans and a handful of centrist Dems. Colorado's 2 Democratic senators were opposed to this deal. Democrats did not get what they said they wanted, an extension of health insurance tax credits to keep premiums from spiking soon. The deal does fund most government operations through January. It provides back pay for federal workers. President Trump had said that some don't deserve to get back pay. And it reimburses states that use their own funds for food benefits. So let's talk for a second about these coming health insurance premium spikes. Colorado's Division of Insurance predicts that costs are going to double for almost 250,000 Coloradans. House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican, has been wishy-washy on whether he'll even allow a vote on extending tax credits for up to 2 years. This is an effort that Republican Rep. Jeff Hurd from the Western Slope supports.
The proposal that Tom Suozzi and Josh Gottheimer and Don Bacon and I have proposed, the bipartisan framework, is the best proposal I've seen so far that would bridge the gap, that would extend the enhanced premium tax credit subsidies for a temporary period of time, giving us time as Congress to look at those underlying cost drivers.
As negotiations to finally reopen the government continue, today the Supreme Court extended its temporary order blocking states from processing full SNAP food benefits. So most of the 600,000 Coloradans, half of them kids, who rely on food stamps, are still waiting for even a partial payment for November. Immigration agents continue to pick up people in Colorado for deportation at their homes, on the streets, outside their immigration hearings. One such case recently, an Afghan refugee who helped American troops during the war in his country. His case now has the attention of elected Democrats and Republicans. They told our Angeline McCall on this Veterans Day that this is no way to treat a friend. They want this man returned to his family here in Colorado.
Yeah, in fact, this man is from Louisville, and they're asking that he be reunited from his family after he fled from Afghanistan. He sought asylum at the U.S. border, and then he and his family were paroled and have since been in process with their case. Now, Dadfar has also received work authorization and found a job as a long-haul trucker. Now, that's when he drove, to the Midwest as part of an ICE check-in. Then he was detained. Several lawmakers have come out and advocated for his release, including Republican Teller County Commissioner Dan Williams.
They flew with us, they were on the ground with us, and they were wounded and killed along with some of us too. So I think it's a travesty. I think it's a mistake. And I think, I'm hopeful that if we get to the right people and explain that he's got an alien number, he's going through a process in Louisville, Colorado.
Commissioner Williams asks that he be reunited with his family rather than being in ICE custody while his case is pending. Democratic Congressman Jason Crow and Joe Neguse have also advocated for his release. Williams says this shouldn't be a political issue.
And this is a moral issue for a guy that helped bring American soldiers home from combat with honor and took great risk, knowing he was going to take great risk by working with Americans, particularly the way that war ended when the Taliban came in. They just killed anybody over there as we left that was working with Americans. So it's certain what's going to happen to him if he goes back.
That gentleman, Mohammed Ali Dadfar, is currently being held in a county jail in southern Missouri, where he remains detained pending the outcome of his asylum case, which could take years to conclude.
I think one thing that kind of gets lost in some of the noise around immigration enforcement, Angeline, is that when we're talking about refugees and folks like Mohammed Ali Dadfar, that these are folks who come into the country with a large degree of vetting, right? Before the Trump administration largely shut down that program, reserved it for white people from South Africa, folks came from all sorts of war-torn countries around the world after a ton of vetting.
Yeah, there is a lot of vetting that already goes into place, and Afghans have certainly received that level of vetting as well. They say this is not the case of someone who is a cause for concern or a danger to the country. What they really want is just for him to be reunited with his family. They're not asking for any type of special treatment with his case. What they're asking is just that he has that release option so that he can kind of fight it, right, with his family alongside rather than being in detention.
We know that you will keep watching it. I say as more and more of these cases stack up, and we say we'll try to keep track of all of them. Angeline, thank you. The Columbine Valley police officer who used Flock's surveillance cameras to falsely accuse a woman of theft will be disciplined. But town leaders also say that this officer acted reasonably in citing the woman. And they won't answer our most basic questions like, so what did the officer do to deserve getting punished? And was he telling the truth when he said that citizens can't so much as breathe without police surveillance cameras seeing them?
We have cameras everywhere in that town. You can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Right? I would like to know if that's true, if that officer is telling the truth about the extent of police surveillance in Bomar and Columbine Valley. That is Columbine Valley Police Sergeant Jamie Milliman. Last month, he came to Chrisanna Elzer's home in South Denver, accused her of stealing a package off a porch in Bomar. He said the department had flock camera footage of her car driving through town and doorbell video of her taking the package. He gave her a citation, said the case was, quote, a lock, 100%, no doubt. Guess what? It wasn't. The case was dropped a few weeks later because she went out and did her own detective work and collected video evidence proving that she was innocent. Today, Columbine Valley's town administrator put out a written statement saying that the officer would face, quote, appropriate disciplinary action. We asked questions about his actions, where he violated policy. We asked questions about the extent of police surveillance in town and whether the woman falsely accused would get an apology. In return, we got crickets. The last gasp of the conservative majority losing control of the Dougco School Board is playing out tonight in their effort to protect charter schools from scrutiny. The Lame Duck Board, in its final meeting happening now, plans to vote on a 10-year extension for every charter school in Dougco without a review of their operations, academics, or finances. We have journalists at that meeting in Castle Rock who are keeping an eye on things for us. Dougco voters rejected every single member of the conservative slate standing for election. So as of the next meeting, Democrats and moderates will hold all 7 seats on that school board in a conservative county. But first, the outgoing majority plans to insulate the charter schools from the typical board oversight every 5 years. There is also an agenda item tonight to discuss banning trans girls from girls' sports teams, but a district spokeswoman tells me there will not be a vote to make that district policy, just a discussion. Seeing your favorite ski area without snow is confusing. It's like seeing your uncle without his toupee. You know what you're looking at, but it's just not right. Ski areas in Colorado look a lot like Uncle Bruce right now. They are startlingly bald. Mark Salinger reports on a brutal start to the snowpack season.
There's more wind than snow today at the top of Loveland Pass. From up here, you can tell why this is the 3rd worst start to a fall and winter on record in Colorado when it comes to snowpack.
Because there's no snow at the top of the mountains, but we're gonna get it here. We're gonna get it.
Down the pass, ski areas are opening with little help from Mother Nature.
Snow's good, vibes are good. It's not too icy. There's some good pockets to slash some snow.
It's undeniable that we would not be skiing and riding if we didn't have that team out there at crazy hours of the night doing what they do.
Shayna Silverman with Arapahoe Basin knows there's been very little natural snow up here so far. It's also been relatively warm up in the high country. For example, Vail and Georgetown each had 13 consecutive days with at or above average temperatures, including today. At A Basin, their team has had to find the best times possible to make as much snow as they can.
This run looks really different from the rest of our mountain right now, and that's absolutely thanks to our mountain operations team, our snowmaking team, our groomers.
From A Basin to Breckenridge to Keystone, everyone's open, but it's the same view at the top of every mountain. A lot of rocks and not much snow.
So we had some really good help from Mother Nature in September and early October. That being said, temperatures have definitely gone up since that date.
This early in the season, ski areas are always reliant on snowmaking to open any runs, regardless of how much natural snow comes down.
I heard we're gonna get a snowstorm coming in though, and we're pumped for that.
Out here, they'll focus on getting some early season turns in.
Maybe, I'm no weatherman.
And leave the forecasting to the pros.
Whatever those snow superstitions you have, make sure you're doing them. We're ready to start skiing some more terrain.
For comparison, Loveland opened on November 9th last year and had the same number of runs open at this point this year. So at ski areas with man-made snow, you're not seeing a massive impact yet, but outside that one run that's open at most resorts, the snowpack is so low that there is real concern if that doesn't change, it'll be some serious problems down the line. Luckily though, Kyle, turn in the forecast predicted next week.
I mean, they always say, right, you got to have a pair of rock skis to go out in early season with, but I mean, some of those runs, those are more like golf cart conditions. I would say
they call it a ribbon, yeah.
Right? Snow is low, but the Stoke was high.
Very high. Listen, I was out there. I was jealous that they were riding and I wasn't.
Yeah, I think if you're so dedicated that you are up there on a weekday this time of year, you got some good stuff going on in your
I was
life.
like, why is everybody out here on a Tuesday? And they're like, well, it's Veterans Day. Some of us don't have to work.
Sure. Oh, you know, okay. All right, we'll give them that. All
exactly.
Right. Mark Salinger, thank you. Xcel has some unlikely allies in their efforts to keep a coal plant up and running. And we'll take you to a 7-decade-old tradition, paying tribute to those in Colorado who have served. That's next. An unlikely coalition is working to keep one of Xcel's coal-fired power plants up and running past its scheduled retirement. Xcel likes the idea, obviously, but so are state energy and consumer watchdogs. So Xcel is asking the Public Utilities Commission to extend the closure date of the Comanche 2 coal plant in Pueblo. It was scheduled to close in December. Xcel wants to keep it up for another year as a reliable power supply. The state regulatory staff supports the extension, so does the state energy office and the utility consumer advocate. They're worried that Xcel would otherwise have to buy more expensive natural gas this winter. Environmental groups don't love this potential extension. Along with the concern about pollution, they argue that delaying the switch to renewables will cost customers more in the long run. Meteorologist Chris Bianchi, I have never seen the Northern Lights, but you tell me that what I should do is quit, run out of this studio right now and see them.
Excuse me, Kyle, was that a cough I just heard?
Oh, I should go home right now.
You've got to go home right now. No, you know what you need to do is you need to go to Wiggins right now. I just got a report within the last 5 minutes that the aurora borealis visible from the naked eye in Wiggins. I just got a report of it in Sterling. I even got a report of it within the last 10 minutes of it visible from Golden. So tonight, if you want to see the Northern Lights, is your best chance. Here are some tips. Go north away from city lights. But, as always, bonus points if you see the aurora over aurora. I want your photos of it and higher odds of it tomorrow night. Otherwise, high temperatures for tomorrow, 60s, 70s, eastern plains, 50s and 60s for us in the high country. High pressure going to be mainly our main thing as we head over the next couple of days here. This is going to be anchored over the western half, western third of the country. It will scoot east. Eventually, this area of low pressure is going to win out. This will flip our weather pattern, and thank goodness. It has been so dry, paltry snowpack for us in the mountains, as Mark Salinger was just talking about a few minutes ago. We really need the snow in the mountains. We need to get some moisture here along the Front Range and finally cool on off. And so that 7-day forecast. Now, yesterday, Kyle, you asked for something. You asked for a 10-day forecast. Now, we don't have that currently available in our graphic system, so I took the liberty of using a wonderful product called Microsoft Paint. You may have heard of that. And I drew in there, you may be able to see this. And by the way, just fantastic artwork once again for myself. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we will cool down significantly for the middle to end part next week. On a serious note, though, we're flipping the weather pattern next week. A good chance that at some point next week we finally see some flakes here in Denver, and we certainly, finally, cool on off.
See, that's why the 10-day is useful, because you can see out a little bit further. You see that big change, and I think that's terrific. I could not have done a crappier job myself. So really good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is just a small way for us to say thank you to the ones that are here.
An annual tribute in Loveland for those who serve and have served. And this year, special recognition for a Coloradan who always has put his fellow veterans first. Hey, a reminder, you can catch Next streaming each night, 6 p.m. on 9 News Plus, whether we are on 9 News, the mothership, or over here on Channel 20. And Next is a podcast. It's like the show, but you don't have to look at us. Veterans Day comes early in Loveland, where volunteers go through the streets of town ringing bells at 4 a.m. Hours later, once the sun came up, people had a chance to grab a cup of coffee. A parade hit the streets with a tribute to a vet who came home and kept serving.
It's a perfect day for a parade, you know, and kids are all out here. This is fun. And good morning. Welcome out to the Loveland Veterans Day Parade. This year's parade is in memoriam of Tony Dimash. Jacques Tony Dimash passed away December 5, 2024. He was a proud U.S. Navy veteran, serving his country with a distinguished 22-year career.
He was my neighbor. He spearheaded this parade for approximately 20 years.
Please welcome the junior ROTC from the Thompson School District.
If it hadn't been for him getting me involved, we're pretty sure this thing would have died off.
It's always very special to come out here with her. She grew up actually remembering World War II and remembering the servicemen coming home. So that makes this day extra special.
He did a lot for this community.
Please welcome the Model A Ford Club of Northern Colorado.
It's just fantastic to see the younger generation being taught how to actually honor the veterans.
Tony's the one that made it happen. Great guy.
This is just a small way for us to say thank you to the ones that are here and to honor their service.
The Loveland High School Marching Band, give it up for them.
Tony Dimash passed away last year. Loveland is still working to complete the Veterans Honor Monument that Tony planned for Loveland Sports Park. Add all our thanks to all of those who have served our country. Your feedback next. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a young man repping our state on a national stage.
11,000 people were evacuated from the Maui fires. 40,000 from the Colorado Marshall fires. What if I told you that of these hundreds of thousands of people, many did not receive the evacuation alerts at all?
That is Cameron Parker from Boulder County, Colorado's rep in today's National Civics Bee. Just this really tough quiz on civic knowledge and then a competition to present a solution to a community challenge. Cameron proposed an app to better connect people to a system of emergency alerts. It was inspired by his own family's experience during the Marshall Fire. Unfortunately, Cameron fell just short of making the national finals, but he still got plenty of FaceTime with celebrity host Mario Lopez. Huge upgrade from the local TV news hack who hosted the state Civics Bee. No? Yes? No Mario Lopez? No Mario Lopez. Okay, he got time to talk with Mario Lopez, who's like an actual celebrity. It's very exciting for Cameron. I hope he enjoyed it. He represented Colorado well. Tonight, Catherine says, I am really happy that Chris Bianchi is on next with you. You, me, Catherine, and a bunch of other people, I think if nothing else for his pure artistic ability, right? Yesterday, we asked for a 10-day forecast, and what does the man deliver? A 10-day forecast. Text in, we love Crispy's 10-day forecast. If you watch the show regularly, you know why we call him Crispy. If you don't watch, don't worry about it. We call him Crispy. Another text, Crispy Donkey deserves kudos for the artwork. Using a mouse on that Microsoft Paint with hooves is really hard. I give that man a lot of credit. He works hard and he humors us, you and me. That's it for us tonight. Thank you for finding us on Channel 20. See you next time.